I just want to go ahead and spend a minute or two real quick on just the evolution of Pieces, right? Pieces for developers and where it's going. So, we're coming to the close of 2023 here, and everyone who's kind of been tracking us has identified like, okay, phase one was really about saving things. If you're a developer, you're in the browser, you're in the IDE, you're in that collaborative space, you just want to copy and paste. You maybe want to select some stuff and save, right? And that's that like fire and forget. And we knew that the saving experience, the copy paste experience just wasn't great, right? When we started this stuff. And so we said, can we make it better? Can we enrich these things with AI? Can we tag these things, title these things, and just make them a little bit more robust so that later on, when we do the search capabilities and the sharing capabilities, that enrichment, that workflow context is elevated and kind of given to the user. Then second to that was, all right, our users started saving a lot, right? And so we wanted to make it better to search things globally. We wanted to add new ways to filter, new ways to have things suggested. But really, at the beginning of this year, we started working on the global Copilot, right? The Copilot that uses large language models, be them on device or in the cloud, to understand the context of your browser, the tabs you have open, what they mean based on the things you're doing in the IDE, right? The code you're writing, and what that means to who you're talking to on a cross-functional team inside of Slack or GChat or Teams. So really a true workflow Copilot that has the fuller context. And of course, we want that to be performant. We want that to be private. And so we did a lot of work to bring macOS, Linux, and Windows a runtime that would support large language models up in the cloud, but also Llama 2 on device. So, there are users in banks, in the DoD, in other kind of very air-gapped, high security environments. Speaking of security, we just knocked off SOC 2 compliance, so that will be announced soon. So big win there. But they're using these large language models to interact with their workflow, interact with the things they have saved in a way that's pretty awesome. The next level on top of that was, let's persist these things. You'll see some really awesome stuff today, but your Copilot conversations, they're deeply contextualized. The context is persisted. So when you say, look at this file, look at this website, look at these snippets, that's captured and persisted with the full conversation. Mac will do some awesome demos, but in addition to the desktop app, we said we want this to be everywhere. Can you get persisted conversations in the browser? Can you get them in the IDE? And a big benefit / use case is like if you're paying for an enterprise GPT-4 license and you plug that into Pieces, now you get that enterprise GPT-4 license everywhere and grounded in your workflow context. Because like the worst thing would be, I'm paying for this expensive enterprise license for ChatGPT and I'm underutilizing it. It's stuck in a tab across 50 tabs. So things like that are starting to happen. And so this whole talk today is about persistent copilots, the technology to make them local, the technology to make them grounded, the technology to make them plug and play for large language models in the cloud, and then also how we build them. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Mac. We're going to get into the good stuff. But let me know if I missed anything, Mac, Rufik, or Mark. But that's kind of the arc that's going on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That really excited about the being able to plug in your enterprise key with OpenAI, and I think too, Sava, that will unlock a world of possibilities. For instance, being able to use some of your already pre-trained models in OpenAI, or be able to even in the future hook into some of the GitHub pre-trained models as well. But yeah, all that stuff's really exciting. Looking forward to it.
The bring your own model theme, if you will. And I know on previous live streams, we talked about these things called ghost assets or like kind of pseudo assets, if you will. That's already kind of going on behind the scenes. It's not necessarily elevated to give you, snippets in a feed or anything like that quite yet, but it is being used to ground the Copilot. So when you're looking at something in the browser, you're looking at something in the IDE, you'll see, hey, you can ask Copilot about it, and it's going to have that context. A lot of magical work going on there, but I'll stop talking. Mac, take us away. Let's do some show and tell.